Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Group Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins. I guess up.
What's the finger going? There's so many buttons I had to turn
side
and
to side.
and now you're below me. Below me.
Wow.
This is episode 223. And last week, hey, live went well, buddy. That was pretty fun. That was it made life easier afterwards, but I think the interaction with Stump the Smith Savant and everything like that worked out pretty good. And I think it made the interaction a lot more fun, you know, like having that
better with it as we go along too.
Yeah. And that was the first swing of things, you know. We're gonna iron out the creases, as they say. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
Who says that?
They. I don't know.
Talk to people that actually iron their clothes.
Creases? No,
I buy stuff that is wrinkle free, as in t-shirts that I throw in a dresser.
Yeah, the way I iron is put it in a dryer and throw a wet washcloth in it, so then it gets the steaming going and all that stuff. But cool story, bro. Wait, let me.
Oh,
no.
good.
I don't have my buttons ready. I gotta get my buttons. That's one thing I didn't get ready. Where's the cool story, bro? There it is.
Cool story, Hansel.
I mean, I could have pushed the button as
yeah,
well.
You could.
I could have.
Okay, so what are we doing today, Lair? We are obviously Stump the Smith Savant. This is our 4th week, so we add cards.
If I get it this week, we're adding a card. Yeah, it's Staple Versus. That's what it's called.
That one's Stump the Smith Savant, if that's what you're trying to get at.
Staple Versus is going to be Snapcaster Mage, which is what Adam has.
Oh, I can pop that up really quick. This is our Staple Versus. Boom. That's what we are going to do right there.
And then Torrential Gearhulk. Gearhulk. This is going to be a prime episode here. You aren't going to edit out any of this, but I'm going to be Torrential Gearhulk. And I'm going to prove to you why it's a better card than Snapcaster Mage.
We'll see about that. But what is our main topic that we are doing for today?
We're going to talk about the problem with power level. We're going to go through different scenarios, and we're going to land on what we prefer, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And not necessarily we, but individually we will.
Kind of.
Because I don't think we agree.
No, well, I don't know. We did this one. We really like.
I don't know.
We had a discussion after the cast last week, and then we were like, okay, this
was really good. We should have recorded that.
Yeah, we should have, because I don't remember it very much. No, and then what else? We got some things we are going to be talking about. Oh, we are going to introduce something here, potentially next week, where even involving more you guys listening or watching live it is a little bit more to donate to us a little bit if you wanted to, but you could potentially have a swing on how our cast goes, because you can donate $5. Well, we haven't figured out the money wise, but there's going to be an amount that you can donate, and that would make us take a shot. There's some small amounts where we'll be taking a Bean Boozled, which is, you got yours right there, Lowery? Yeah, oh, that's the fire one. Yep. So there's a fire one, and then there's the regular Bean Boozled. If you don't know what Bean Boozled is, it's just like, you have 2 flavors here. You can kind of see it. Oh, my finger's not moving the right way. There we go. And one is a good flavor and one is a bad flavor. Like the blue one is like toothpaste, or, well, that one's actually good. Toothpaste or berry blue. Neither one is bad, but like liver and onions or cappuccino. But the fire one, what is the fire one? It has 5 different.
Holy Carolina Reaper?
Yeah. It's so.
I don't want anything. Jalapeno.
So there's a spinner on this bad boy.
Habanero.
Yeah. So it will, if you will do a certain amount, which will be a little bit higher than the Bean Boozled one, we would take one of these. So you guys are going to be able to affect while we're doing the cast. So, and it also goes to a good cause. Us.
we are a good cause.
So we figured that'd be a kind of fun way to interact as well. We'll put a max on the shots because we don't want to be so shit-faced by the end of it that we can't even finish the podcast.
I can't even talk before I'm drunk. So, but I think also this is a good way if you're like, I don't want to become a patron because that's money out of my pocket every month. But if you want to watch us suffer, that's a good way. It's just a quick donation, and we're either eating a booger jelly bean or
that you're just gonna stop
all the way up
just
to a dirty shot if that's where we're at.
Yep. So we're going to get those numbers kind of crunched out and figure out the actual levels of all that stuff and kind of hopefully start that next week. If it doesn't start next week, it'll be right after SmithCon. So, okay. So, is there anything else that we're going to talk about there? It was my birthday last week. Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Oh, good for you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. It was a good time. You weren't able to come because your little got sick, had a fever. So you weren't able to make it up, but at least your other little and your wife were able to make it up, and she hadn't seen the house before, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah. No, they had a really good time too.
Yeah. So they played until like the dude slept until 10. Well, because then he stayed up so late because he went with my dad, and then today he slept until like 10:30. Like you texted me this morning like, how's Zeke feeling? I was like, he's not even up yet.
I don't know.
But yeah, I got tons of cards and, oh shit, I didn't grab it out, but I pulled a freaking, the rarest card in the goddamn new Capenna set. So it's the,
good for you.
Obnixilis.
All right.
Yeah, good for you. Got the foil etched Obnixilis, and dudes on TCG, it's 125, but on eBay, it's upwards of 160 or so, and that's where I would sell it if I was going to, but I'm not going to. So
because it's pretty.
Yeah, it is very nice. So and then also like those gilded, I didn't realize some of the stuff was as expensive as it was while I was doing it, but like that gilded dragon that has the sacrifice and then you get treasures, you know what I'm talking about? That guy?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's like a $65 card. So yeah, I didn't realize some of those. They're the top like 5, like Raffine is up there. If you get a gilded one of that, it's like a $40 or $50 card there. So that was kind of cool. So, but you can check that video. That's an hour and 20 minutes of lots of packs being open. Anything else that you've been dealing with? What'd you do this weekend? Kind of just chilled at home?
Yeah. I mean, kids were sick.
Yeah.
Kids were sick. I hope Zeke stays unsick.
Yeah.
Because my daughter had a fever Friday night, like after she woke up for a nap so like a couple hours. And then little Lowery was fine on Saturday morning. We did a COVID test on my daughter. She was negative. And so, talked with you and sent little Lowery and Kirsten up to hang out. And then 11 o'clock that night, he comes down and he's like,
I don't feel good.
No, almost like delirious.
Oh, really?
He had a fever,
yeah.
So he came down and he was like, my light is green because instead of an alarm, a noisy alarm, it's a light alarm. So it's yellow if he wants to just get a little bit of light in the room. And then in the morning it turns to green. And then he knows that he can wake up and come and get me up if he wants or, get ready, whatever. And it was yellow. And he's like, my light is green. I'm like, what are you talking about, kid? And then I realized,
he's a little, yeah, that sucks.
So, and then he just ended up having the fever all day Sunday. And
really? Went through the whole day? Did you guys just?
It was a lot longer than Elise's. That's why I'm kind of worried about Zeke.
Yeah. Well, so far he hasn't showed any signs of anything. So, knock on wood. But yeah,
that's
so.
good. Yeah,
we're just hoping that we don't freaking get sick before we get to SmithCon. Like that's we're both just like, please don't get sick or get sick right now.
My daughter came home today, probably has pink eye.
Yeah,
so she had like the icky discharge and like a little watery, and I'm like, this is gonna be fucking pink eye in the morning.
It is totally.
And so came home from daycare because they had an outbreak there. They sent a couple kids home
with pink eye.
My wife, what's that?
With pink eye?
Yeah, with pink eye.
Okay, so it is.
And then they and then my wife's like, oh, they had pink eye, and I already wiped a little booger away. I was like, fuck. God. Damn it.
Well,
Because,
the funny thing is, I told you this too. Is I was like, my neighbor, his kid had it on Friday, and then on Sunday came down with a double ear infection. The same kid. It's just like not catching a break, buddy.
yeah. Wild out there.
So yeah, we got a couple of people on. Again, you guys are gonna be able to play along when we get to Stump the Smith Savant. See if you can get Lowery stumped again. If you get it this week, buddy, we add an ante, so we got to figure that out. One thing I got to get off my chest here is I got to try this beer. Cindy got me this beer. Yeah. It's a potato beer. So
yeah.
She got it for my birthday. She just thought it was she knew it was a Spudfest because that's actually like a big lake. It's near us. They're having their festival. And she's like, oh, it's Spudfest. And she just thought it was a pink can. And I knew immediately, I was like, those are fucking potatoes. And she's like, what? So it's kind of for the bit. Oh, God, it's squirted everywhere.
Yeah, that's what potatoes are known for.
Oh, great. Here we go. Okay, cheers, buddy. It is from Lupulin, I believe, is the big lake one. Yeah, Lupulin. So, all right, cheers, bud. Here, let's see how this goes. All right. It doesn't taste like a potato.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good.
Just scared you
yeah.
a little bit?
It was a little nerve-wracking. I was like, am I going to spit this thing out? This is
better than the broccoli beer?
Yeah, the broccoli beer was not good.
I am drinking a Stone Nation Double IPA 2.0 Sans Filtre. So this one's 8.5%. I'm probably going to be lit.
I didn't even look at what the... Mine's 5%. This is nothing. That is nothing,
That's
man.
Well, I mean, it's a normal beer.
Yeah, but...
No 3-2 beer around here.
I was drinking an Italian ice cream ale from this weekend. I got a bunch of these from Indeed Brewing. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. It's not... I have a dreamsicle one for later, and that one's delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I was saying about the packs and stuff like that? Yes. I actually wrote down everything on here. So I also got so is Zatora. Is it Zatora? The dragon guy?
Okay.
So that one's $70, and then Raffine was 40. Raffine, the full art land. That was 45. I got 4 Evelyns, which is what I'm gonna build. I got a gilded one and then 3 foils. I was like, holy shit. I got two Urabrask, your buddy Urabrask. I actually traded the regular one away.
Sounds like a bad box then.
I got the Luxor equipment, professional Facebreaker full art foil, Sparas, Xanders. I got all the Triomes, and then
what did you get from the pack that I gave you?
I don't remember. Yours got mixed in with the bunch.
Son of a...
I know.
All right.
But the value ended up being of everything over that was $5 was about $484 is what I calculated out. So that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Oh, good for you.
Man, my button game is off. So it's because you got a collector box and a set box?
Okay, so there was
random packs.
Probably, I'd say a mix of 8 draft boosters and set boosters. Then Cindy got me a set booster box. My stepmom and my dad got me about 8 packs of collector boosters. And then my mom got me a full box of the collector boosters. And then Joe got me a collector booster and a Kamigawa collector booster. So there was a lot of collector stuff there.
Yeah, not bad.
Lowery. Lowery, why don't you show us what you just pulled out of your secret lair? Do you have it right there?
Open that.
Yeah, I got my buttons ready for you. Your light just makes it all blank out. Oh, good for you.
Got that Eldrazi monument.
The blueprint. Nice.
Blueprint? Yeah, it's pretty. It's the first one I've, any of the blueprints that I've gotten.
That's pretty sweet, dude.
This one.
Yeah, that's a really nice one. That's really cool.
I'm glad it's not fucking like Ornithopter or something.
Oh, that still would have been cool, dude. I think.
It wouldn't have. It would not have been cool.
It would have been better than the stupid
Passage.
Jumpstart lands. That's all I got from all that crap. I didn't get anything special.
Those are super disappointing as well.
It's garbage. They need to get rid of those. They need to find something else besides those. But
they need to give us better cards.
Yeah, better bonus cards.
Well, it'd be fun if they had something thematic that was just a surprise every time. Doesn't have to be good, but just something different and thematic.
I do like the blueprints in the way that they aren't like how the stained glass, when that first set came out, you know, the first secret layer, and then the stained glass were in there, was like, holy shit. Like I pulled, I think it was like 4 or 5 of the Tefiris, and I was throwing those back for $80 a piece.
I mean, that's a really good dopamine hit right there.
Yeah, but then it was like, oh, these are in every single secret layer for the next 2 years, and then it kind of fell off. I like that the blueprints
and then they replaced it with basic lands.
Yes, and that was much worse. If they would have been basic full arts, hey, I'd be down for those. But these just
also
basics.
True.
Yeah.
If they were desirable basics.
Yeah, it's just, who wants these?
All right.
Nobody. All right.
All right.
Okay, should we get into the tag so we can get to our games and get to the episode and all that stuff?
We
okay.
can do that.
You guys can support the podcast by becoming a patron. You just donate $1 or more, gets you into the Discord, gets you chatting with us and everything like that. And when we're getting the games going, it's just we got a lot crunched in this month, so we're potentially pushing this back until right after SmithCon, which is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Then you'll get in on the games and all that, and we'll do some live stuff. We're going to be recording that and everything. So that's just $1. That's a great way to support the show if you just want to chat and hang out with us and all that. $5 or more gets you proxies, potentially higher levels. You get foil proxies and all that. And you don't even have to get proxies. If you don't want them, you don't have to get them. But, you know, a lot of people take advantage of that because it saves you money, so you're not buying so many damn cards. The free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube and subscribe. Subscribe there. That's how you're watching us now. If you're live with us right now, that's how you're watching us. You might as well subscribe. You can check out a lot of videos that we do throughout the week. We don't just do the podcast now. We do fucking everything at this point. Lowery, you have 2 times a week. You make Curated MTG on Mondays and on Fridays. What was your Monday as of today's Curated MTG?
Put out animation module, which is an artifact. Whenever you put in like a +1/+1 counter on a creature, you can pay 1, and it creates a 1/1 servo. It's just a really good way to go wide if you're using counters or anything. And it's in my Raffine deck that I finished off last week, you know, like that. And then and so I did the spotlight decks last week, Thursday and Friday. I don't think you can see part 2 because
we're in the process of that. YouTube, and this
blocked us.
That's the algorithms of the systems. Here's a little behind the curtain stuff. We would have had the shots and the jelly beans today, as I set up our account for at least you guys donating. But then PayPal's like, yep, this is a fake account. We're shutting it down. And I was like, no. And I can't contact anybody. And they make you jump through so many damn hoops to try to actually just send an email. Same thing with YouTube. They saw what was Raffine is, what is in the word? It's scheming.
Scheming seer.
Scheming.
Scheming was deceptive.
Yeah. So
they shut us down.
They shut it down. And we could turn it on. We're trying to wait for approval because we don't want it. No, did you try? Because all you have to do is turn it to, oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, they don't let you.
Okay, so we're waiting for approval to get the part 2 back because I was just like, it's the name of the card. Can you please turn this back on? So anyways, we have to watch ourselves with the bots. So yeah, that's Spotlight decks. We typically are once a week, if not more, when we're trying to finish decks. And there's a lot of fucking decks, especially with the new Commander Legends coming out. There's gonna be more decks we want to build.
I plan on doing Beamtown Bullies this week and the next week. I'll finish it off before SmithCon.
Good for you.
I might do a little, I don't know if you agree with me or not. I just don't have a ton of time to pull cards right now, but I want to play the deck. Right. So I might just go fully off of EDH Rec and pull all the cards and then build from there.
Blasphemy. What are you doing? What?
I want to see, because everybody says that it's easy. I also just want to, because I don't have the time to pull the stuff in the next 2 weeks because I just finished Raffine. And so I mean, if you don't like the idea, I won't do it, but I just want to see what happens.
You could.
Off of it.
Hey, that'd be an interesting one where it's just a straight up EDH Rec deck. EDH Rec deck.
It'll be like nothing. It's just
I've never done that
idea
before.
that I had because I think my understanding is it's easier, it's less time consuming and everything. Because it does, when I'm going through boxes, it takes me about 3.5 to 4 hours to just pull cards and think of ideas and go through everything. Right. I can just go like pull, just don't even have to think about it. I wonder how long that would take.
I guess what it would be in my mind is that you're almost kind of doing a pre-con in a way,
Maybe.
But a good pre-con.
But I mean, there's more cards than 100, more cards than 61, so you still got to pare it down. I don't even know how many cards there are there to choose from. So I think it'd be interesting at least.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it a lot.
Yeah.
But
oh, so Prism saying EDH rec is insanely easy. I've never done it, like you just said. I've never done that.
So I'm curious.
It'd be an interesting test run to see how that works out. Okay, so that like Larry said, Spotlight decks is either building the decks or doing our switcheroos. I have a bunch of switcheroos I want to do. With the new Commander Legends, that horror that came out, I want to switch Brewvac around and actually make my mill deck with that one. So I think I'm going to actually do that. So we should do a new Staple Versus and add that commander in, because I think that one I would like better than Brewvac, because I'm going to change it. So those happen multiple times a week, or at least once a week, unless we're playing a game that week. Like I say, you can also check out the games we've played on there. We are going to get into a rhythm of at least once a month, if not 2 times a month. So we'll be doing that with the Discord as well. There's also Proxy Time. Did not do Proxy Time last week because that was me opening boxes yesterday. I won't be doing it for the next 2 weeks because we just got a lot going on. But then after SmithCon stuff is done, then we're going to pick everything back up on regular schedule besides vacation.
We're trying to do a lot of stuff if you don't notice.
Yeah. And then, we got the pack openings, we got the battle boxes, we got the giveaway. So there's just a lot on YouTube. So just jump onto YouTube, subscribe there, and you'll be able to see all the videos we do. Biggest things with the shorts is watch them. Watch them. You can make them go viral. Like, seriously.
Yes.
You have the power. And I just did an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, which I guess he was. Wasn't he He-Man? Wasn't he? Wasn't
he was Conan.
Oh, Conan. That's right. The Barbarian. Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm shame. Put my shame.
Then you
Ding, ding, ding.
Khal Drogo was also Conan in the 2000s version.
That's a good point. Cool story, Hansel. All right.
I'm special like that.
All right, so that is YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter. That is where you will see all the things that we just talked about. We posted on Twitter as well. I mean, if you're a part of the Discord, you see everything, and then like a fraction of that trickles on over to Twitter. We don't always, post there.
Everything official makes it to Twitter.
Right. So our
Anything
videos
funny doesn't really.
Yeah, it's just here's our stuff, and this is where we post it. So if that's what you want to do that. That's totally fine. We will interact with you, especially if you do anything on.
I mean, it's where you can enter giveaways easily.
There you go.
And we do that every 3rd or 4th month.
Yeah, just depends on how many times you guys listen to our episode, listen to it over and over again. Then we're gonna do more giveaways. That doesn't mean we got more listeners. We just got people that are smart and they're listening to our episode like 4 or 5 times over and over again.
Yes.
But also you can direct message us on Twitter, or you can direct message us by sending an email, CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And that is where you can enter for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant.
Come on, big guy.
All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I am going to read the flavor text of a card. Lowery is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, you'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, you'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
If he gets 5 wrong guesses, he will lose. And our stumper, who this week is Jonah James, will win the card, which this week it is still Raffine's Tower right there. It's
Alt
the
art.
showcase version non-foil. And if Lowery doesn't get stumped this week, we will add another card in for next week. So be prepared for that. You guys can also play along. If you're on YouTube right now, I can see your comments on the side. You guys can see each other's, so you guys can work together. Lowery cannot see you guys.
I cannot.
So you guys try to beat him this week because you did beat him last week.
Only one person.
Well,
I guess
work
they
together.
can all see each other.
Yeah,
So whoever gets it, gets it.
I will give Lowery up to 3 clues. And if Lowery can get everything about the card, but he can't get the name, I'll give him the initials. If he can get to that point with having an extra clue, I'll give him a bonus extra clue about the name. It needs to be in 5,000 EDH rec decks or more. And here we go. All things will crumble, whether by time or by force. All things will crumble, whether by time or by force. Okay, we got our two guessers on from last week are on, Gwen and Steve. Or Dempsey. Jeez, I just see his name. Dempsey, Renshai, whatever. Get one name right. Just put it on there so I don't have to keep going back and forth. And we got our first Jackal guess from Dempsey.
Yep, perfect. All right. Okay, crumbling makes it seem like it's like a Gruul card, so potentially like red or green. Can you say it again one more time, please?
All things will crumble, whether by time or by force. So far, our guesses by Gwen and Prism, those are not right.
I do think. All right, is it red and or green color identity?
Hello, boobies.
All right. All things over time crumble.
All things will crumble, whether by time or by force.
And so by force kind of makes me feel like it's, it's like a removal spell of some type, probably involving artifacts and or enchantments. Probably artifacts at least. Is this
Gwen, your guess is wrong.
Is this a non-permanent card?
So you're saying it's not a permanent, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Wrong.
So this is a permanent. It's red and or green.
One
All
wrong.
things. I wonder if it's some type of wrath, like all things by force. I'll take a clue, please.
This art, both of them, features a tree in the jungle and 3 animals you normally wouldn't see in a tree. This art features both of them, so there's 2 different arts. A tree in the jungle and 3 animals you normally wouldn't see in a tree.
What doesn't live in a tree? Like a toad, a fish, and a duck? Like all water things? Well, that was fucking useless. All right. All in a tree. I mean, a tree. Okay. Hold on. It's a tree. So, green.
Always putting
Color
a puzzle
identity.
together. Steven, stop it. Just have your name as Dempsey. Dempsey guessed, welcome to the jungle. No, that's not right.
Close. But that seems like a green card. I mean, it still could be red.
And Gwen guessed if it was a banana. So it's not a banana or a coconut.
Bananas are found in trees. So, and it's not an animal. And all of them that we eat are gross. I mean, they're still good, but man, you get a banana in like the tropics or some shit. That stuff's so good.
Cool story, Hansel.
I know. It's called stalling. All right. Okay, so I already got 2 guesses. One's wrong. I'll go for the second clue, please.
Okay, the text features an uncommon tribal type, but loved and hated by half the population, and a continuous form of destruction. The text features an uncommon tribal type, but loved and hated by half the population, and a continuous form of destruction. No one has it yet either on chat there.
An uncommon
Tribal type.
Sorry. Can you repeat that?
The text features an uncommon tribal type, so not one that you would normally see, but loved and hated by half of the population. So half the population loves it, half the population hates this and a continuous form of
What's this?
the creature type.
The creature type? Okay.
Yeah. And a continuous form of destruction.
So it's green. It could potentially be like something, a creature type that everybody loves and everybody hates.
Also, if you think about the first clue, this art features a tree in the jungle and 3 animals you normally wouldn't see in a tree. No one has it yet.
I'm in a struggle.
Third clue might help you out because you're gonna get the deck.
An idea that, well, I should give a guess. The thing, an uncommon creature type. For some reason, in my mind, it's like tree folk. It's not gonna be an elf. Okay, so like if we're thinking like
I can't hear.
Holy shit. Yeah. No, this is really, really tough. Continuous form. So either it's either like an upkeep, a damage, or like an attack trigger. So it's not like acidic slime. It's not.
It's not a jackal, Dempsey.
It's not a jackal. I mean,
I should have had the button.
It's not in a tree. Not going to be in a tree normally, so that could be right.
I should have worded my clues a little bit, but I thought it would be enough of a clue.
I'm really quite stumped. I'll take a third one, please.
Okay. So this card is in 6,000 EDH rec deck, so it's not a ton. Okay. It just passes.
Low number. Yeah.
It was first printed in Commander 2017. It only has one other printing in Secret Lair, and is mostly seen in Rin and Siri Inseparable. Do you know which one that is?
Yeah. Yep. It's a bad card. It's a cat and dog. Cat and dog.
Can you put the puzzle together? So that's the most decks it's been. You can mostly see that in that deck. It's most often seen in that deck. The art features a tree in the jungle with 3 animals you normally wouldn't see in a tree. Can you guess what that is? You know what animals?
Cat and the dog.
The text features an uncommon tribal type, but loved and hated by half of the population, and a continuous form of destruction. Bearscape is not the right answer, Alex. Man, no one has it. Yeah, this is stumping everybody at this point. I mean, there's a lot of vulgar guesses in there that aren't real, but
yeah, yep, banana.
Yeah.
Wow, this is.
Yes, Gwen, really... you are correct with what the letter it starts with. That is right.
So this is something that was really not playable until Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, yes. Commander 7 2017 it was printed in, and Secret Lair. Those are the only 2 places it was printed. That should be a big hint.
It's not. Continuous form of removal. Is this
Prism? You are on the right track.
Is this removal of an artifact?
Hello, boobies.
Continuous removal. Let's try and. Is this a green card?
Only green. That's what you're saying.
Only
Because you did already. No, you said
no.
you said green and red
and
before.
or red. And
Yeah.
so does this card have red or green in it?
Hello, boobies.
All right, you're narrowing.
Do I know
it down.
that? Hold on. Did I already know that? That was maybe a dumb question.
Well, you asked if it was green or red, but now you're just asking if it's
It
green.
could have been only.
It could have
red.
been red. Yeah.
All right,
Now it
just
could be
trying to
green
make
or
well,
red. It could be
like,
green
just-
and red.
Yes, it could be green and red. Could be green and something else.
But it's
could
green.
Be green. Is this a?
Gwen, you fell
Is
off
this-
the right track.
Is this a multicolored card?
Wrong, wrong, wrong,
It's
wrong.
green.
Hmm.
Secret Lair. Commander 2017.
Gwen's guess is wrong, wrong, wrong. Is it a boat? Is it a boat? 2017.
It's
is Secret
unlikely
Lair.
that it's an ETB. Which one was 2017? That might be helpful.
There, Prism got it. Prism got it.
Oof. Nice job, Prism. All right.
And then Caleb right after Prism got it too. You-
Okay. So I need to narrow this down, probably on the permanent type. Is this a creature?
Hello, boobies.
So it's a green creature, either a cat or a dog. Probably a cat. Is it a cat?
Hello, boobies.
That's what the beginning clues were, because you don't normally see it. I mean, you don't see dogs in a tree, but the whole bit is like the fireman getting a cat out of the tree. That was how I was trying to play that. It's not something you normally. I know you can see panthers or whatever in trees, but that was kind of the bit I was going after.
Okay.
Good job. You got the cat part.
Super good. All right, so it's a green cat creature that can destroy artifacts every turn.
Our listeners are getting it, buddy. You're struggling. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I am super struggling. It's I mean, it's not a good card.
You just got to think of what was in the secret lair with cats and what was on Commander 2017. You can probably figure out the 2017, right? And you should be able to. There isn't a lot of secret layers that are cats. That's what I.
No, yeah. I didn't buy that one because we thought it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, because it was stupid.
Gwen had the assist on it to help because she started off with the right letter, and then
Then it just.
she wrote always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Oh my goodness! I don't even think I'm close. I don't even have an idea. It's a cat. It's a green cat
Yes.
that was printed in Commander 2017. So the cat deck. This is printed in the cat deck, right? The cat, green-white cat deck.
Hello, boobies.
All right. It was in
Secret layer.
Secret Lair. Golly, what was in there? I know there was Muri, but that's not removal. Not on artifacts. There was the one that ETB'd to destroy an artifact or enchantment. And that's all right. It has reach, whatever. But that's not every turn.
Well, they're yeah.
That fucking cat. They are in a tree.
Oh, Mr. Lowery.
Does it have reach?
Hello, boobies.
I gotta say something after this. This is ridiculous.
Okay. I don't know if I know the name of it. Is it all right. Power toughness is 2/5.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Got 3 wrong.
Power toughness is 2/4.
Wrong, wrong,
One
wrong,
more.
wrong.
When it enters the battlefield, it can destroy an artifact or an enchantment.
Hello, boobies.
I already said it has reach. That's the other bit. So I need the power toughness, and then I can get the initials.
No, you haven't gotten the casting cost yet. And you
Oh,
haven't.
casting cost is 4 colorless and a green.
Hello, boobies.
Correct.
You got this given to you by somebody as
That's
a
what-
buffer.
Yes, that's why I thought, I was like, if he doesn't get this, how is that's crazy? Because I talked about it. I was like, this is crazy. This card was garbage, and now it's like freaking. It was $30 at one point, but.
And so I just need the power toughness.
There's one more bit that you are missing in the actual text.
Ooh. It
There's-
has vigilance.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Oh. I got
a
a
3/5.
It is a 3/5.
Damn it.
The other part you were missing was, or another cat enters the battlefield. That's where the
I would have
continuous.
missed that.
That's where the continuous
nice
comes
job.
in.
What was it called?
What if I gave you the initials QS?
Kisali.
There you go.
I don't know if I know the S.
Slingers.
Slingers. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Whew. That was hard.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of glad you lost it there because I gave it away by you. I was talking you back. I'm like, what are you saying that it's not a continuous thing? But yeah, so then I was like, oh, why did I say anything? All right, good job, Jonah James. You got Lowery stumped. That's
You got
pretty
me.
good.
You got me.
It was funny though, because I think you're in your head that card only did itself, so you just scratched it off because it wasn't a continuous thing. You thought
Correct.
it only did it the one time, and so that's why I was like, "Oh no, what are you talking? Oh shit!"
I don't think I really had that in my head, and so I wouldn't have got there.
Yeah. So
So
all right, well you win Raffine's Tower. Congratulations, buddy. And congratulations to Prism for guessing that actually before. Well, Larry never guessed it. So
yeah, we will send you a spicy jelly bean.
But yeah, good job. And if you guys want to submit, just make sure you email it to me or us, I should say, but just with my name on it.
Yes.
For my eyes only. And remember, 5,000 EDH rec decks or more. I don't know if I have the tip thing because I feel like that's what this next one is called. Don't you think so? I have Staple versus Hello Boobies. You can always just do
Hello, boobies. Hello,
yeah,
boobies.
That's what I was going to.
which is
All
when in doubt.
killing time. Here you go, AJ.
There you go. That should be it when we don't have an actual segment button for it. You know, that's just the bang, bang, bang. Okay, so what are we talking about? Actually, I want to pull something up here so people can actually see this while we're talking here. So what are we talking about today? Well, we can't. On your computer, it's very small. They might be able to zoom in and all
That's
that.
kind of true. I'm
Yeah.
only seeing like it's like a quarter. All right.
Yeah. So what are we discussing here today?
Let me see if I can. Speaker. There we go. I still can't read that because I'm blind.
Oh, I also
Okay.
have. I sent it to you. You got it on your phone, don't you?
Did. I'm not gonna stare at my phone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot of words on it, but okay. We've been trying to do this segment
Yeah, for a
for a long
time.
time, probably like 2-3 months. And I still don't know if
we
know
got
what we're doing
here. we're doing it the CommanderSmith way. Is we're winging it.
But Adam was able to find this guide to power levels in EDH. So obviously this is like older people that put this list together because they put it as EDH. And so
oh, that's a good point. That's us right there, buddy.
Yes. But newer players, it's Commander, so that part doesn't matter. But let's talk about like the scale that this is going on right now. Right.
So before we get into the actual scale, let's just say what kind of the problem is with power level in general. Before we're even getting into this, what we have up, there's this issue of the biggest problem with a power level scale is that everybody's perception of the scale is subjective. Like it's like, well, if this deck does this, it's this. We all know that 9s and 10s means it's CEDH. That's pretty much there. But from there down, it's like, okay, where do you put your deck when you're asking somebody? And whenever anybody's like, well, mine's a 7 or mine's a 6, I'm like,
yes.
To me,
that's the meme, right? It's my deck's a 7.
Yeah.
Everybody says their deck is a 7.
Yeah, like Renshai just said, his is. Oh, he changed his name to Renshai.
Yeah, I didn't know he could do that.
Can you show us how to do that?
Thank you. How do you? Are you a wizard?
You're a wizard, Ari.
So, like, I can tell a story on this thing. So we used to play racquetball a lot, and in our group, and we would play. Our grandpa was fairly good and played with some good players as well. And I would consider myself the worst of that batch, along with like you and Jake and Rennie and our, our uncles, whatever. And I would have considered myself basically the worst of the bunch. And not bad. I'm not gonna say that I'm bad, but just the worst of the bunch. I didn't have a kill shot. I didn't.
But you had a consistent.
I knew what I had, and I went out to our cousin Chris or Roman's graduation from University of Wyoming. Our uncle Kenny was before he passed away, he was the head engineer there at the university. And so he invited me to play racquetball with him. I'm like, I'm garbage. I'm not very good. And I walloped them and they fucking gave me shit. They're like, oh, you're bad. Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I'm the worst with who I play with. That's all I know. I don't play in tournaments. I don't go around. Like, I just play with a handful of people, 10 or less people. And, I went out there and I just kind of like didn't break a sweat.
Yeah. And
and they were trying and I was moving them around and that's that power level thing, right? We're playing with each other, with our buddies, with a larger group now than we were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we don't know what it's like out there to a degree, and it's all, a lot of it's based off of your experience and what you are used to.
Yeah. I gotta back things up really quick. So Prism changed his name. Also, it was Cole D, which I forgot that's who that was. So Mr. Cole, he says his dex is a 6.10 is where he likes to sit.
Yeah. Oh, 6.10.
Yeah.
That's very specific.
You douche canoe. But yeah, no, that's a very good point with how the deck power levels go. And like, I guess I've always thought we were like high level, like we play with high powered stuff, except for tutors, basically tutors. I mean, you can do counter spells in there as well. That's kind of hindering yourself a little bit. We don't
combo very often.
We don't combo. Yeah.
So we handicap ourselves. We didn't used to, other than we didn't combo.
Right.
And so everything else was our mana bases are on point, other than whatever you want to be doing type thing. I play the tri lands that come into play tap and stuff like that, but that's just preference. But that matters in power level with your deck. And so, but if you don't have a good idea of where you're at, if you're not playing online consistently and constantly, where you're getting a good range, and that might be a small group of people that actually play Commander, that actually can have a good view and a good idea of what their power level is amongst the sea of people that play, just not as constant as you. But nobody knows that.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Good point.
But I mean, like, if you look at this list on our YouTube right here, that's how are you going to discuss this in a rule 0?
Right.
Like, what's your power level deck? Well, unless everybody's on the same page with this power level scale of 1 through 10, unless everybody knows about this one, it's pointless.
Yeah.
You're fucking reading a paragraph.
Yeah.
And you're a 6.10, like Cole's saying, you know what I mean? And then that's just you. And then you have 3 other times you're going to spend 10 minutes talking about power level. And then if somebody's going, you know what, I need to change my deck.
Yeah.
Like that, it's unreasonable to have this discussion a little bit with when it comes to power level, since everybody doesn't know it.
Yeah. That is
so
that's the thing is like
really hard.
So when we were kind of working out this idea, and actually Cole has a good point really quick, and I'll just jump on that and then get back to what I was about to say. But he said it's hard when desired power level and wallet size don't equal each other. So that is also a very good point. When we've been talking about this power level thing for, I'd say weeks, if not over a month now, trying to figure out when we were going to fit it in.
No, it's been longer than that.
You think so? It's been months now at this point.
Yeah.
My time of stuff, I'm like trying to, my whatever perception of time just goes so fast now that you get fucking old.
It was around Kamigawa when we were like first talking about it.
So the thing is I was always like, what if we just got rid of power level and just had a number instead and said, this is when this deck generally wins the game, like can win the game. You know, like
a turn. You're saying
turn-based,
like turn-based.
Where when you're not in the game when you're playing everybody, I mean that can come in if you're playing it enough and you get an idea. That's also very helpful, but more so like on average when you're gold fishing, this is where the deck goes off, and you should be probably winning the game at this point. And I was thinking that should be more of a scale we should be going off of. Just instead of saying, you know, I'm a power level 7. It's going off of this chart. I'm a deck winning 8 or 9. Like generally I win on turn 9, or generally I win on 7, you know, like the number scale.
I even think the word minutia in the sentences that you're using aren't accurate. Because when you're saying I do rather than I could.
What do you mean?
Is different. Because I do means that you've played games with it and then you're able to win, which is different than gold fishing and when you can do it. Like you're saying I win on turn 9 or 10. That means you're fighting through removal and counter spells and everything that a game brings.
I think,
and if you're gold fishing, you don't really know that.
Right. But that's where I was saying if you're gold fishing, because that's the hard part is with a new deck, you can't be like, well, I don't know this yet. I got to test it like 10 times. Because you can't test it once in real life and play game and then be like, okay, I won the game, or I was, it was turn 9 or whatever. That's where this deck is. You need to play it 10 times. That's why I think actually every deck you should just go through and goldfish it 9 or 10 times and get a feel of when does this averagely, like the average of when this actually goes off. And that can be the starting scale. Yes, you're not dealing with it. Would change if you don't have enough removal or protection and you're just basing off of, hey, I'm just doing my thing. That would change the scales too, because then once you get in real life, you're going to tell people, this deck normally wins on like turn 5. Well, then when you're actually playing with somebody and dealing with the elements of other people, it's a more, you lose, then you see the actual real world playing. You're like, okay, real world playing, this is actually more of a 9 or a 10 because I don't have enough of this or whatever. So I think you can start with, this is where I think it's at, and then adjust it as you play games. But the thing is, people don't normally keep track of like, how
many turns.
Right.
But also like that's part of the problem, right? It's a sliding scale when it comes to, well, this is what it is like gold fishing. And then when you're saying like, well, now that I've played it, I need to move that.
Yeah.
But if you play against different people, then that can change again. Like it could maybe go back to, what you were thinking.
Yeah.
But if you're playing at a higher power level, that's where turn-based can be difficult, because it's when you're playing combo and CEDH, that you can go off, in a turn or two if nobody stops you, but everybody plans to stop you.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes it isn't over in 1 or 2 turns because everybody plans for it.
Really quick, Gwen did point out a good point that not everybody might know what gold fishing is. So we might
Gold
want to...
fishing is when you're just playing the deck by yourself. You're not worrying about
You're on
what
a solo
anybody else
mission.
is doing, and you're just going through the motions, playing your lands, making sure that you play your lands, making sure you're not running out of cards, and then you also, you're playing out your deck to a certain amount. You don't want to go 30 turns into a deck because it's not it's not practical. You go, I guess maybe that's the question, is what are you comfortable going in? Like, I think I normally do about 10 to 15 turns when I'm gold fishing, just to see, like, if I'm monitoring, like if I'm going like turn 3, I haven't played anything. That means the deck's not working right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shuffle it up a couple more times, do it through and like notice and see if that's the case. But if I haven't ramped at all, if I haven't drawn any cards, if I haven't played a creature, like if I haven't done anything by turn 3, it's trouble. Like it's sit down, really work on it. But if it's turn 2 and I haven't done anything, then that's also trouble, but different.
Yeah.
So, but it's
gold fishing is a thing that you definitely should do before you sit down at your table and play. I mean, sometimes you might not have enough time to do that.
Sure.
But I mean, like, for example, I talked about it a couple weeks ago with Akiri, built Akiri, and the night I finished it on the stream, I laid down and I was like, there's not enough removal. There's not enough good removal. There's not enough draw. And so the next day I went back and, I was gold fishing it. I was trying to play it out. And there was a lot of times where I played my stuff out and I only had a couple cards in my hand. I'm like, am I just getting unlucky? So you keep playing it through to see if that's a consistent thing. You consistently hit that same time of like not drawing cards or whatever, then you need to add more of this or that, or add more removal. That's the hard part, is the removal part when you're gold fishing, because you can't play that out. That's the hard part.
It's hard to know when and if you're going to be able to use it, if it's too niche. I agree with that part, but the big thing I think that's always going to come with turn-based or power scale, like the 1 through 10, is who are you playing?
Yeah.
And so in the practicalness of this 1 through 10 scale from wherever you got it, it's just too.
Oh, I think it's good.
I think it's really good.
I should do what 2 dimes and a nickel doesn't do, and I will give a credit to where credit is due. Okay. This is actually from a Reddit post, but the person that made this was, I think it's Emil Lang 1000, and it was from July of 2020. So
right.
that's how you credit other people that do things that are pretty cool.
What? So I think this is a really good list. And again, the problem is in the discussion if not everybody's in tune with this list.
Yeah. Well,
with this one, where would you say you are?
Where am I?
Yeah.
I think I would be, it sounds stupid, I feel like I'd be a 7, but I don't play with tutors. So then I would be more into the 6. But then I don't play with tapped lands unless it's the scry lands. I just personally like those. So I feel like I'm between that 6 and 7 range, just because we handicap ourselves or hinder ourselves on purpose to make the game more fun for us. I feel like I fall in the 6 range, but I feel like everything I play, because we don't play tutors, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. What it actually has done for both of us, I think both of us, I'm speaking for you too, is it's made our deck so much more consistent that we aren't pulling dead cards. We're most likely every card in our deck can be used. And when we play it enough, like I've done that a couple times with Bruvac, where there's a card every time I pull it, I never play it because it just doesn't fit. It isn't a good card. And then that's where I have my sideboard stuff and I sub out those cards. And so yes, tutors are a great way to find that answer or get your combo to win, but eliminating those has made our decks a lot more consistent. I need to make the chat thing smaller so that we can see a whole, like Cole just posted and then it took up the entire thing.
Cole had a good point. Yeah. I didn't read everything
because it went away really quick,
which is a good problem. But so Cole pointed out he has a buddy that has a deck that's would be a 3 but plays it like a 9. Yeah, and actually I think there's a
Bill from Woodbury pointed that out too on there.
Okay. Did he?
Yeah.
I think there's a big importance on how good you are at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Threat assessment matters, and just your familiarity with cards. Like, not going to say you're a worse player, but if you're having to read the cards in your deck, you're going to play them worse.
Yeah,
because you're going to go, oh, I missed playing that earlier. I would have loved to do that. If you don't know what your deck is doing or the cards that you are, you need to, like, you're just going to play the deck worse. And we can use the example of a buddy that we don't play with anymore. And he would net deck and he'd have combos in there. He had no idea how to play the decks. Talking about Grant.
Yeah.
And he had expensive cards in there. He would proxy them. We had the issues with proxies too, but he had no idea how to play the deck.
Yeah.
And that matters.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't put the deck together by yourself and think out every piece that you're putting in there, you're not going to know how to play it. You're not going to know why you have it in there. So that knowing cards and having experience playing the game makes a 3 into a 9. So it makes it really tough.
Oh, I gotta shrink down the chat stuff. I know that.
Who did that?
That was Gwen. Yeah, you can't even see the chat. It just took up the whole thing. Hey guys, if you don't want other people to talk on the chat, just write a freaking paragraph and you'll eliminate everybody that's on there, so you can't see what they're saying. Okay.
So we've talked.
I think that is a very good point. But that goes into it too, and that's why.
Right.
Why I think a turn basis of like when you typically win or can win is better than having a scale, because like you're saying there is you could have a deck level of a 9, but you play it like a 3. Like you don't know how the deck works and you don't.
So you average that out and you're 4.5.
There you go. But if you're always playing that, like you built this, or you had somebody build this deck for you and they built it and let's say it's an 8, it's like they built you a legit 8 deck. It should win between, according to this chart, 5 to 7 turns that deck typically wins. But you're playing it and it's like, I'm winning if I win, it's normally like 10 plus turns. Well, that is a better scale because it's showing more of like how the player you are. You normally, it just isn't working as well. So really your number should be a 6 or a 5. You know what I'm saying? Like if you gave that number, the deck, yes, if somebody's playing it, then it does change. That's the hard part too, is like, then you have the flip side of that, the devil's advocate. Then you're like, if you're saying this normally wins on turn 10 to 12, and then somebody that's really good plays it and they go, fuck, I can win this on 4. Like this is a lot better than what you're saying it is. So it can flip and it depends on the player. So again, it's subjective of how everybody plays and everything. But I feel like if you're the one playing it, and you're giving the rating like of the turn wins, I feel like that would be better. What is your thought? What is your idea of how this would be better to do for a power level thing?
Okay. So we talked about turn-based and like power scale 1 through 10.
Really quick. I'm about to drink a Clouded Judgment beer.
Ooh, that
Hazy
sounds
IPA.
Good. And so the Cole, you never lose with Tasa's deck that Adam made because you're a good pilot, not because it's a good deck.
Oh, shut up. Don't you give me my credit, you bastard.
All right.
Cole is a good pilot too, so
He is?
he makes it even better.
All right. So, I think the thing for me is timing. And a lot of people go, what do you prefer? And then they go like, oh, I like a half-hour game, hour and a half, 2-3 hours, or whatever they prefer. And I think you tilt that just a little bit from what you prefer to the power level. And that can change, because even though it's a sliding scale that I think is able to apply to where it's going, because it's setting expectations for what you want the game to be rather than what your deck is doing, and what other people are doing. If they're going like, okay, well, I could probably win within the first 20-30 minutes. And if you're like, well, I'm packing enough removal.
What that means is they're not playing with Trombley, because Trombley's turns are 20 to 30 minutes.
There is that problem of playing slower or playing faster, but I think that's different than I would prefer that over somebody that's running combo or, efficient combos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'd rather have somebody go, I can play really fast than I can combo out sooner than you can set up any defenses.
Joe wrote, I almost never lose when I goldfish. That's a pretty good one.
It's true. It's true.
And I got to point out number two. He said the deck he's talking about my deck. The deck is a 6 and Cole is a 12. So we're rating people now at this point.
Wow.
How
sexy. Hot or not?
Yeah.
You're a 12. Cool.
And then he said, and Lowery, and by Lowery math, 9 equals 3, 4 equals 4.5. That makes it a 9.
Fuck. That's all I got. Okay. So I think timing, my preference is within an hour and a half. Yeah. And I try and make sure that my decks can do that. And slower play, and maybe that's not even slower play, but like I can even say I generally don't run over the top win cons. And that means that I can't really win from nowhere. I have to build up and consistently just kind of start crushing you and protect what I got going on. And that it's not that if I can't be interacted with, because I try and add that defensive stuff in. Some people don't do that. And they just go, I'm going to be aggressive and I can stop you and or potentially stop me. That's what the counter spells are doing. But if, I make sure that I'm running cards that protect my creatures, I'm pretty creature based. And like, I understand all of this, and I understand that somebody can just win out of nowhere, and I have to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that going back to yuck your yum, don't
yep,
yuck
for
people's
sure.
yum.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's part of this conversation is just trying to at the end of this, I think most people that play within a consistent play group are going to have the most fun. And they're going to get what they want out of it if you have a consistent play group.
Yes.
As long as you're aiming for
that's
games that everybody's having fun with.
I want to get on
it
that
doesn't
point.
matter where it is.
That's why this has never been in our play group, because that's not how we do it. It's like, well, if a deck sucks, we let somebody know, or like that. We don't say it's too powerful. It's just like, for example, Zephi, when number 2, even though he's saying I'm the slow player, that fucking deck, every time we played it, the turns were fucking forever. It would win a lot, but it was the most annoying deck to deal with. And that's what happens with our play group. And for the most part, people know how we play. And I don't know if it's a courtesy thing or whatever. We don't care if other people do it. A lot of people play counter spells and we're fine with it. I'll give a shit, because it's part of the bit. But the thing is like, it doesn't mean you, and we've said that many times before about the yuck yum thing too, is you don't have to follow that. But that's why the power levels really, it never affected me until we started doing this cast. Until everybody you see on Twitter and other people talking like, what's your power level? And I was just like, I don't fucking know. I build good decks. I mean, what I feel like are good tuned decks. We handcuff ourselves on purpose
towards the people that we play.
Exactly.
Right.
And so that's the part that's hard is like doing this. We have to embrace that this is what with playing with other people, we're going to have to deal with this with SmithCon. Everybody's like, what decks are you bringing? How powerful of decks are you bringing? Basically how we always say it. And this is what we were trying to work at for basically over a year now, I would say, or maybe probably 6 or 8 months. We've been trying to figure out how to do the CommanderSmiths scale. You know, remember we were like, where is our range? We even talked about it with Dana when he was on a little bit. And I don't know where I was going to go with the rest of that thought. It was going somewhere.
It's a forever conversation.
Yeah.
Right. It's something. And again, if you're not having that same conversation over and over with the people that you play with, and you're having it with randoms, and they're going, sorry, I got an itchy fucking nose.
Well, really quick, number 2 did just say he did modify Zephi because of the comments, because of how it was always playing. And it wasn't even how number 2 like built it. Like he did add stuff in there, but Zephi is built to be an annoying, like a combo, I agree. Things happening, and it just takes forever. And you lose.
Well, it's one of those decks that has a shit ton of triggers.
Right. And that's where you can lose a lot of people playing. And then
that's why I don't like rolling dice, because you have a lot of options on where things can go. Just keep going. Don't worry about it. Everybody's watching. And so I think one of the best things to do is just to get a consistent play group.
Yeah.
And so that you can have those conversations and modify to whereas you're having fun.
But not everybody has that, which is we have had to, that's
but
been,
if you're out in the wild, you're either, I would suggest watching conversations from the Exile Discord, because they're a lot more CEDH. They have more CEDH conversation than our Discord. But if you don't want to worry about power level, play CEDH. And if you don't want to be like hurt over somebody saying, oh, I'm a 7, and then they combo out on turn 2, like that's just anything goes. Win as fast as you can, or stop them as fast as you can. And it's just do it. And if you can't, then you lose, and you should be fine with it. Like, but if you're going like, oh, I'm playing Tree Folk Tribal, I can, I'm going to do all right. And then somebody's playing a fucking a Traxa, it's not going to go well. Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know that, if you're being pub stomped, like, you might not understand that.
Okay.
And so you might want to get into the CEDH level and just understand what that is and do your best towards that.
Yeah.
And budgetize that.
I think you're onto something with the time factor, because, for example, when, let's say somebody has to leave, or we're trying to not go until 3:00 in the morning. We're like, this is the last game. It's already 1:00. It's snowing out. We don't want to be out too much later. Let's get one more game in, but we want this one to be quick. Everybody adjusts their deck on like how fast it plays. So normally I grab Yuriko,
and
those just
fast.
It's games that are going to go, like, there's a lot happening. It's not slow build up and all that stuff. Yep. If it's just a normal game, like, those are the times that I guess Yuriko may reach into the 7, maybe 7.5 or something. I don't know. Like, that's the part I hate, is like, and then it feels like I'm bragging or something like that. It's more of the fast pace. And I like the idea of, hey, let's get this game done in an hour. Play your hour-long deck. Boom. I want a long game, 1.5 to 2 hours. Play that deck. Anything that's an 1.5 plus, that's a different, and that would fit into those levels. But that's how our group kind of does it. For the most time, when we were playing, it's like you're playing the 1.5 to 2 hour deck.
Yeah. But that's also in understanding what your decks do. So again, if you have to read your cards, and maybe you only have one deck, that's what's going to happen. But if you're reading your cards and you don't know what your deck is doing, you might not even want to join that game at the end of the night.
Cole said no more starting a 6-person pod game at 1 a.m.
Fully agree. You should never start a 6-person pod ever at any time. It's too many people.
1 a.m. play group
2-3s.
does not make good choices. That is very also correct.
Let's also make a good point about that though. Is Commander games aren't necessarily 4-person pods.
That's another.
They can be 3. Yeah. They can be 5. They can be more. Don't do more.
No.
But if you are, that timing can really change.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a 6-person pod, everybody should be playing their fastest 1 hour deck.
Yes, exactly. There should be you should not be playing your 2 to 3 hour deck. That's just
it should be try and win the game as quick as possible because it's still going to go for 2 hours if you're at 6+ people. Like, and so that's what I want to look for generally. And I know we've talked about this in the past. I like an hour to an hour and a half game.
Yeah.
That's generally what I aim for. That's generally where I want to be able to be built up.
I will
and then taken down and potentially still win.
I will say that under an hour, I feel like it's almost like a failure that it just didn't go right. You know, somebody either went off too early and no one could stop them, or people were screwed, or it just nothing happened. One person went off and that was the end of the game. And then that feels like a failure game to me, even if I'm on the winning factor of that. My winning to me is that everybody had a chance to win. And I hate when somebody else is mana screwed or mana flooded because I don't like that. I wish I could be like, well, just go ahead and grab land, but that's not how the game works. But at the same point, it sucks. It doesn't feel good. But a lot of times that person, if they get things going later, they don't get picked on and they end up winning the game. We've talked about that multiple times, that for some reason the people just pity the fool and leave that person and just sit there, and then they come back and win.
But it does make the game longer.
Yes.
It's 3 people playing a normal game, 1 person trying to catch up. And by the time they catch up, they're doing all right compared to the 2 that are it's like showing up to a fight, 3/4 of the way when it's done. And you're going, all right, let's fight, guys. Right. I'm fully healthy.
Yeah. No one hit me.
Like, shit. Yep. That's kind of what it's like. And it's good strategy if that's the way you want to play, but it isn't necessarily fun when maybe it's a personal thing, but when I go, okay, I don't have to worry about that person at all.
Yeah.
And you're not even in the game.
So here's a quick question for you. If you're more based on a time base of like whatever, I think that's how we play it. Couldn't that also fit in the turn base as well? Because that's typically where your turn.
It could.
And again, there's a lot of factors. Like, and we rip on Trombley, and that's
it's
partially
just because he's playing your decks. Again,
his decks he would do the same thing. It's more of Trombley tries to think things out because he doesn't want to make a mistake. And I think and we all do that. That's the thing about this is you always make mistakes. I don't think very rarely is there a game that I get through and I don't make one mistake, and that's the thing that people have to get over. And it's hard because there's a lot of times where it's like, fuck, if I didn't tap this land knowing that I had this in my hand, I could have done this, and that changes the whole game. You just gotta, the best thing is to move on from that. But
yeah. And I think the term is tilt, like going on tilt when you make a mistake or you do the wrong play and it takes you out of the game.
Yep.
And you're just thinking about what you did wrong versus what the game state is doing. It's kind of like the same concept of like a quarterback throwing an interception and then coming out the next, a pick 6, and then they got to come out and do offense again.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I sound like I haven't played football for 14 years.
They do the offense and then they get they get the football and
but like, you know what I mean? You have to have a short memory and or a cornerback that was scored on. You have to have that kind of like short memory going like, I need to improve from this rather than beat yourself up.
Yeah.
And that's a mentality that you need to have because again, that's not fun. And you're playing this game maybe to be competitive, but also maybe to have fun.
Right.
And so going back to something that we reference often, but back before EDH, Adam would always be upset at the end of Magic nights with me, you, and Jake.
Yeah.
That was not fun for you,
Nope.
and that sucks.
It was bad.
And so now, but that's, we were all on different levels. And I think, going back to the budget issue, I was on a really small budget, always have been, but I've been doing this long enough that
ready for it.
I've at least accrued and done all right with the specking.
Oh shit, I'm on the wrong page. No.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, good for you.
There's no good in being poor.
Cole, stop it. You do not play to kill the Smiths first.
And Jake was able to buy whatever deck he wanted. He went a little bit budget, but he had a deck, when we were playing 60 card casual, I was playing the latest set that came out with their commons and uncommons, and he was playing Entomb into Thraxamundar and fucking bashing us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And locking us down with counter spells.
Yep. I mean, he had 3 decks and they were all tournament based.
Yes.
And I was picking out commons and uncommons and a couple of rares.
Big creatures. No, I'm just kidding.
Big creatures.
Big green creatures.
Yeah. And that was my best deck.
Yeah, it was.
Defense of the Heart. Get Thorn
Yep,
Elemental.
Remember that.
And that was bad compared to what was going on. And yours were pretty efficient, but not Jake's legacy level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there was very different things going on. And I think when you are the more experienced player, you need to be conscious of what other people are doing. If you want to play CEDH and you're in a committed group, and I don't think I'm going to be offensive here, but some, like Jeremy or Tyson in our group, they show up to hang out.
Yeah.
We show up to hang out, but also play Magic.
Yeah.
Because we enjoy them.
And they don't play Magic. They just
I don't think they really care about Magic. But
Jeremy does occasionally switch his decks around a little bit.
Yeah. But he, you know what I mean? They're much more budget minded.
Yeah.
They're not buying the duels or fetches. Their decks aren't optimized. They still get a shot every once in a while at winning, and they can, but they know to fucking pick on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, again, I didn't mean to say fucking. Excuse me. But it was fine.
Were you bleeping yourself? What? We don't ever swear here. This is
yeah. So like that power level thing, like when we first started, probably the first like 2-3 years, me and you were both pretty high powered, still not comboing, but we were using tutors, and everybody realized like, hey, we gotta kill the Smiths first because we were using just higher power cards.
Yeah.
I started realizing that we were being targeted, and also you can see Tyson or Jeremy being upset about that kind of stuff. And so I started depowering my decks a couple of years before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
And so, I was
because you're
taking out the
so good. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
Not what's going on. But when you start tuning for your play group to make sure that it's fun, since we started the podcast, I would say, even though, 2 years of COVID, not a lot, but, 2 years before that, and probably a year or two before we started the podcast, I would say we were probably having some of the best, like most fun games that we were having.
Yeah.
That was a really good sweet spot. And when we get together now in the last year, they've been a lot of really fun games.
Yeah.
And when we do the Discord and we record on those have been really fun games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, that's what I want to aim for, because they're fun, they're intriguing. And that's what I don't want to necessarily do. I don't want to do one thing, like if I'm going wide in a green deck and I have that happening in 3 of my 16 decks, you know.
I get what you're saying.
I'll put Crater Hoof in one of them.
Right.
But
you don't want that
Crater
to
Hoof
always
in
be
each deck.
the win con of, yeah.
And so like that, finding other stuff.
And that's the same thing with that's the idea of the tutors, because that was the problem with the tutors, is that you would always go search for your deck's win con. And the same idea is that we've talked about this before. When I had my Gitrog monster deck and I had my Mazarek deck, to me, when I built them, they're different. You know, I'm sacrificing Scion tokens and pumping up my whole thing, but then Mazarek was also in Gitrog, and I'm sacrificing things and doing, you know. But then you mentioned, you're like, I was like, I got done playing Gitrog, I'm gonna play Mazarek, and you're like, those are basically the same deck. And I was like, what? No, they're different commanders. What are you talking about? And then after you play it a little bit, you're like, okay, I see what you're saying. They have similar things happening. They win the game the same way. And that is actually tutor pre us doing or cutting out tutors. So they were tutoring up to do the same thing, because that was what was happening. Teferi's protection.
Yeah. Defensive card. So I think a big thing, again, we're still talking about power level, but we've talked about timing, we've talked about turns, we've talked about power scale, and right now we're talking about like playing within your group. Because again, going back to, we had Grant was in the group.
Kick that fucker out. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just, you know, things
didn't work out.
But he was frustrated at how things were, and there was a point when everybody was kind of arguing about what was going on, and he said, maybe you guys should play, you know, make lower powered decks so he could compete. And that was because he was a competitive person, but he wasn't very good at Magic. And I think that was the part that maybe he didn't understand, is that he wasn't very good at Magic. That's part of that.
So that the part of that was the revenge factor that was in his blood with it, and that can make you a bad player, because all you're focused on is revenge the whole time. But yeah,
and I hate to say that he was a bad player, but like, because that's also
he played off
thing.
No, but he played off of emotions more than he made decisions on what happened and who pissed him off, and held grudges in games. And that's not what you need to do in this. And like, if you're doing that in Magic, you shouldn't be playing Magic. And actually at one point he mentioned to you to play.
It's a different dynamic again, but if that's all you do, that means that it's controlling you.
Yeah.
Rather than playing a game. Like, that's fine to do every once in a while, but if you don't recognize that that's what you are doing, that makes it really hard. It doesn't matter what decks me and you played against him. We just knew how he was going to act.
Yeah.
Constant poor thread analysis is unfun.
Yeah.
Get good. I agree.
Speaking of that, Cole, Mr. I got this table. I got a Zero Cools thing handled, guys. Don't use a removal on it. And then fucking you didn't have it handled, you bastard. I'm just kidding.
So I guess to me, it would be timing, because that's still probably hard to like compare. But if everybody can aim for that, like, maybe I wish that like the online play is probably where it's the hardest.
Yeah.
Because it's so random, and you don't get to play that second game together, or, you know, most people don't. But if you just sat down for a night and be like, hey, us four, how about we just play 3-4 games? I'll bet you that third and fourth game become better. You know, it gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
Generally, as long as everybody has the outcome of, this is what we want to have happen. But once it's like one and done, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, I can see that being really tough to actually just have an idea of how good it is, how good your deck is.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough.
Well, okay. So I don't think we still are not solving this, which is what we kind of thought would happen. We're not going to solve it.
I don't think so.
I think the positives of doing a time frame generally does work, but some of the things that come into the problems with that is everybody could be playing different pace. It doesn't mean that their level's lower. It just means what we were saying with Trombley is he doesn't want to make that mistake. And so he over analyzes and his turns can go longer because he's trying to make sure that he does not make that mistake. So I think time is a good one, especially when you're talking about like you want an hour-long game. Then people are like, all right, I'm bringing my fast deck here, whatever. But
and think about that game right there specifically. When it ends, nobody's angry.
Yeah.
Nobody's upset. They just went, the game's over.
Yeah.
And that's that CEDH mentality a little bit of, let's get this over. Even though we could do that on every deck, like every game, we could just be like, okay, let's end this game. But we could still choose lower powered decks. But in our group, nobody really gets too upset that I understand, other than like if you lose and you lose and you lose and you lose, you're not in any of them. And so like that I can see being tough.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing too is with the turns or whatever, I sometimes when I'm about to win the game and it's really early, I feel guilty. And so I actually am like, I'm not going to not play it, but I'm going to play and hope. And I'm like, I hope somebody has an answer for this. So I've done that like Bruvac. I almost won and I was like, please somebody, whatever. And actually Zero had the answer. I was like, all right, well, I'm playing this. It was like turn 5. This might win the game. And then Zero's like, Chaos Warp your Bruvac. I still milled everybody to the half, but I didn't win the game there. And that's actually what I wanted, but I wasn't going to hold back on that. Man, that was a long sentence there. All right.
I don't know what's there. But I mean, so Cole, I did, to pat our games on the back, but he was saying like our games are balanced even within, the 12 people.
Yeah, there's different playing levels and all that stuff.
When we played back in December, when I was there for the games, I sat down with your neighbor that's new, and then I think one of like a cousin or cousin-in-law or something on Cindy's side, and he is relatively new, and I played Trey Lasara for the first time, and that did not go well. You know what I mean? I had a 22-22 flying indestructible Trey Lasara that was getting bigger by the moment, and they didn't, they still were kind of doing something there, but it was really tough for them. And so that part felt kind of bad. It was just a 3-person game, but at the end of it, like they still had some chances and some threats. And I think that's a good thing when it comes to not having combos. And so like, if I just went like, did my thing, was dominating, then I combo out and the game's over, people feel pretty bad.
Yeah. Combos.
But if I'm like,
can feel really bad.
All right. I have a 22-22 commander, indestructible flyer. I attack, you block. Combos. I attack, you block. You start running out of resources. I hit you, you die. And then, like the grindier game, but still fast. If people don't have that, like any sort of interaction, or because if somebody didn't have the flying, I can just go like attack, kill you. That sucks for that person. But I can also just choose like, this person has a flying deck. I have to wear their shit down, attack them, and then you can kind of ignore it. Like those are those choices that you can make to make a game fun as well, versus like power level and stuff like that. So it's hard. Power level is really tough.
I think
CEDH.
CEDH is just that's the easy stuff. When you're not CEDH, it's like, personally, I feel like it should be a turn thing where it's like this deck normally wins on turn 9. Like that's just how I feel.
There's like notes underneath this scale of 1 through 10 that we have on, and it says like a weird thing is in between the numbers of 3 and 8 is so many different variations of unplayable and playable, but they still are doing similar things that, it's just weird. And so like on this power scale of 3 through 8, it's just kind of like a muddle, like where people get mad if they're playing in, a 5 and they get beat by 8.
Yeah.
It's that pub stomping part, and you can pull your punches.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't have to do the optimal play every time. But if you want the game to end and you want to move on, like you don't think you're going to have fun in it, blow through it and just move on.
That's what I've found. I've been doing more off where I was always trying to do the optimal play. And sometimes it's more of let's not necessarily do that. Let's make this game a lot more fun, and that's
why I love Chaos Warp so much.
Yeah, because you're
it,
getting rid of something, but what if they get something better? Because then it's awesome. Like,
it's fucking crazy.
Like, okay, so one last thing, really quick. Like what you're saying with the Chaos Warp thing is the one thing the games we played the other weekend, a couple weeks ago. The big thing I remember from that is fucking over Trombley with deflecting SWAT. Like he lost his shit because he thought he had me dead and whatever. And he's like, okay, I'm going to kill Adam here, but first I'm going to cast, what is it? The one where you get to choose 4. It's like the counter spell, the draw the card, the tap creatures,
Cryptic Command.
No, the newer one, the one that you, with the mind gal. We spec'd on it.
I'm probably not going to be able to pull that out.
But anyways,
yeah, I know what you mean.
So if he would have attacked me and just killed me, and I kept trying to convince him, I was like, you don't want to just all out attack me. And he's like, well, I'm going to kill Adam, but first I'm going to cast this. And then I was like, deflecting SWAT. And then I was like, I get this and this. And then he's like, motherfucker, like just lost his shit. And that's actually Ibukaki's favorite moment because, well, he ended up winning that game because of that. But it was awesome. Like that's what I remember is that little part of that whole night was that's what I remember. Oh, thank you. Sublime Epiphany. That's what it was. Thanks, Gwen. So that is what I remember is the fun parts is not about, well, I didn't win any games, so I do remember that. But it isn't about necessarily the winning the games. It's the fun stuff that happens during the games and it makes it memorable. If you just win a game and it's not memorable, then you're not remembering it later. Like it's just, it wasn't really that great of a game. But if everybody had a chance in the swings
I like how
around,
this turned into a family sitcom show where we were just like, just have fun, and enjoy it. Don't worry about the power level. Just do well within your group.
I would say that. Oh yeah, Joe just said that it was one of the most fun. He was in that game. Honestly, he's had in a game, and I completely agree. So I guess to conclude it all, in your play group, like ours, we don't have a power level. No one does that. It's just like, hey, what deck are you playing? You know the commander, and so you're like, okay, that's a faster deck. Or the time, like you said, we only have an hour left, hour and a half left.
Yeah,
I'm playing this deck. If you're playing with strangers, do you do it a time base? Because I don't know if that works. I guess you go back.
I don't think it works with like strangers.
But the thing is I really do feel like a turn count thing is a good way of just being like, generally my deck can do its thing after whatever, like
I think probably
I'm trying to get you to agree with my point and say that it's the right.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I think that's still.
You just don't want it because I
really dependent. I think a scale, in-depth scale like we have here.
Yeah.
Would probably be the
but you're not carrying this around to everybody and going, where do you lie in this scale?
But what you need is somebody way bigger than we are to champion this idea.
Hey, 2 dimes and a nickel. You want to jump on that and steal something?
Even bigger than I'm talking game nights.
Yeah.
And essentially just kind of going like they have the most voice, they have the most reach. People might not like them or they love them, whatever it is, but somebody huge that has a huge reach needs to champion some type of ideology, probably even Sheldon. Somebody on the CAG like Game Nights or like Josh Lee Kwai or on the the rules committee like Sheldon. If they can champion an idea of a scale where everybody's going to see it, and or if they would be like, oh, it's these people that are saying this is how we should think about it, then there's more of a cohesive idea of what power scale is, and that would probably benefit the community.
Yes.
If we can point to, if
they started printing it on the commander cards and saying, "Here's how you do it."
That means Wizards is in on it.
Yeah,
and that's probably okay too.
That's probably the biggest way to do it. And if they did, like, would you be happy if they had this scale on a card and just had boom? I think
if they did that, like, that's at least something to point to that gives direction on what's going on.
I mean, they could totally do it. Like, look at
going to pick.
These are the games that they print on the cards.
This is 9, 10. You might be able to fit like 5 through 10 on that.
On this side, and then you flip it over. That's the rest of the game. They could totally do that with commander cards.
Maybe.
Sorry, that's for the YouTubers there. We should move on because we are an hour and 40 minutes in. It doesn't matter because I'm not editing anymore. Woo! It's all live, baby. So I don't mind how long we go with these. You might get longer episodes because of that, because it doesn't matter at this point.
That's a good point.
Okay. Let's get into our final thing. Wait a second. I can get my little things up here. We're gonna click this little guy here. We're gonna do this.
Round 1.
Excuse me. I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Staple versus. All right, we're back again. Well, let's get rid of the power level thing. Get it out of here. Get out of here, power level. See ya. All right. If you guys don't know how this works, we are going to talk about 2 cards.
Be belligerent. What?
Well, I didn't see you drinking much there because you did a lot of talking, and I was just drinking as you were talking the whole time. Look at that.
Almost gone.
So what we're going to do is we have 2 cards, and there's only 1 spot left in this deck. And we are going to fight for our cards. And you guys get to vote and decide which card is making in this last spot. In this particular deck, we were dealing with a blue deck. But wait, let's back it up a little bit. What did we have last week? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Was this the protection versus?
No, because you got the crown on that.
I won that one.
Yeah,
that's right. What do we do?
So, so you are the defending champion with your.
Read the Bones.
Read the Bones versus Phyrexian Arena. Where do you think? Probably to go well for me. Do you think this? You don't think it went well for you?
I think it's like probably like 45, 55.
You are
45 for me, 55 for you.
You are so fucking close with the numbers. It's kind of insane. Like, this is insane. Okay, so YouTube. Well, that's our biggest one. Let's get the other way around. Twitter was at 55% for Read the Bones.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Discord, 43% for Read the Bones. So Phyrexian got a little bit of a lead there.
Okay.
Although I will say Twitter has more votes because our Discord has dropped off on voting. And I think they go to all the other places and vote. YouTube, our biggest voter by far, 57% for Phyrexian Arena. Now the total though, 54% for Phyrexian Arena. All right, I'll wear this crown again. It feels good to get it back. Well, I'm putting this on. What is our battle today?
All right, today's going to be Snapcaster Mage, which is what Adam's going to lose with, and then I'm going to have Torrential Gearhulk, which is fucking stud.
Good one,
right? All right, so Torrential Gearhulk
talk about yours.
Is 4 colorless, a blue, comes down, and you can cast an instant spell from your graveyard for free.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes down with a body. Hold on, let me look it up.
You got the casting cost in there, right? I just want to make sure we know where that's at.
I said 4 in blue.
So 6, right?
What?
6, right? 6?
No, look, it doesn't have to sound like that.
It's 6 though, right? I mean, like, this is.
It comes down as a 5/6. It has flash, right? flash, and it's a construct.
Mm-hmm. And you're targeting
Artifact.
What do you
Artifact.
What are you targeting?
Synergies abound.
What are you targeting though? It's
any instant.
Oh, okay. Just
at flash speed.
Just curious. Yep. Okay, so
for free.
Okay. Yep, that's pretty good. Free. I like that. I like the free.
You hear that?
So
America likes free.
Let's just work out the differences here. Snapcaster
yes.
is for 2. 2? 2.
Right.
All right. Does the same thing. It's flash. That's fine. Yep. They both come in at like instant speed.
But it's like a 2-1, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-1. That's fine. Well, yours is also an artifact and a creature, so gets removed by both ends with that. You can
what?
You can destroy an artifact and a creature. So like the two most common things to get rid of.
If it's into both ends, that's fine. I'm not going to judge it.
I mean, just add more of these types in there. And
Whatever.
Let's make it okay. So 2 to come out. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target instant or sorcery. Oh, sorcery.
Oh, that's a good point. Nobody plays sorceries.
You know what the best thing is? Playing a sorcery at instant speed. Because
that's not how that works. You don't get to do that.
You don't get to do it? Why not? It's flash.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you get to play it?
Snapcaster has flash. But
why can't I play the sorcery at flashback where it's sorcery? Well, then that ruins my whole argument. Well, this sucks. Snapcaster sucks.
You're bad. You're bad at this.
You can tell I don't play Snapcaster very often. I don't play Torrential either.
Let's be behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Adam doesn't play either of them.
Yeah, I don't
Whereas
play either.
both of them are quite good. Now, remember, a Torrential Gearhulk killed you last time we played.
Was that when you what? When did it kill me?
It's when I copied Berserk from the graveyard twice.
Oh, I already was walking away from the table at that point.
No, I was trying not to kill you.
Yeah,
and
I was just like fucking kill me.
Just kill me. That was Torrential Gearhulk.
Oh wait, wasn't it on turn like 3? So CEDH guy right there.
It was not. It was not
aiding the other person's creature to kill me. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. So Snapcaster, I get an instant or a sorcery. I guess I can't do my sorcery at instant speed. I was thinking wrong. You're wrong. I'm right.
You're right.
But still, I get both of them. I get a sorcery and an instant. You only get one.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's I can do as soon as turn 2. It is.
We're casting for free.
Whatever I want. Maybe a ponder, and I'll flicker this bad boy.
Whatever I want. It costs 1 more.
Right.
You can't do it on turn 2.
Yeah,
you
sure.
Do it on turn 3. It costs mana.
Yeah.
You have to
Soul Ring, baby. Soul Ring, baby.
Soul Ring.
How many times do we see Soul Ring get out turn 1? Like all the time.
More than it should.
Yeah. So I get, yes, that is the downfall. I have to cast a mana, but I also get to choose instants or sorceries. So I can do both.
I think that's good.
And
I mean, that's okay.
Yours,
like a ramp
when are you
spell?
actually going to be attacking with this 5/6? Whatever. Like you're not.
No.
That's going to get removed with my artifact removal.
I don't necessarily think that you want to be attacking with it. The great thing is when somebody attacks you with it.
Yeah, but you know what?
I can pay
I'm going to have
6.
my Quasali slingers out, and I just drop a creature down, and boom, that guy's gone.
You know, that's rough right there. You call back shadow.
Yeah, I know. I turned the page and be like, how do I say that word again? Because I always wanted, I want to call them a quasi slingers, but they're what, a Quasali slingers?
When you have Snapcaster Mage as a body is a speed bump. It's just there to die.
It's in 20. It's in double the amount of decks that Torrential Gearhulk.
That's okay. People can be wrong. And Torrential Gearhulk comes down and can cast huge instants,
huge ones
for free.
Those huge ones, right? Like
yes, those ones
you know the sorceries are the ones that are normally the brutal ones, the extra turns. I can cast those. I can abuse the shit out of Snapcaster. You can't do extra turn stuff because they're all sorceries.
Who plays extra turns?
Everybody.
What kind of masochist are you?
Everybody plays.
How awful is that? There is an extra turn that is instant speed.
Yeah, okay.
As well.
You're 1 to my like 30. Okay, I gotcha. That's fine.
There's 30 extra turns.
Yeah, if you include red, we didn't say we were only blue. I mean, we are blue at the
I agree.
Yeah.
You'll probably just. I can.
Cole,
can
you
cast
can't
Final
say
Fortune for
Snap.
free.
Oh, he's just being a dick about it. He said Snapcaster dies a lightning bolt. Bad card.
It's true. It's true.
It's like that person on freaking. This is whatever. This is sidetracking it. There was a person
just said, "Why not both?" And that was going to be the original name of this segment.
Why not both? Yeah. Well, remember how this segment started was both of us just being like, "What do you guys think?" There was no conflict at all, and it was.
Yeah,
I think it was
rough.
boring.
It wasn't fun
I
at all.
really love this.
Okay, look, Gearhulk can essentially be. It's not a game ender or anything, but it's quality.
Renshai says
body.
only assholes
It's
play
a
extra turn
threat,
spells.
and you can cast things that are like 8-9 mana for free.
Yeah.
And
What do you?
if we're playing red, we have.
If you're
Faithless
playing something
Looting,
for
we have
8-9
Cathartic
mana, why did
Reunion.
you not already
What?
win?
What?
Like,
At 6 mana?
You didn't already win at 8-9 mana instant spells? What are you
Listen to
casting?
me. You're
What
not
are you
listening.
What are you casting?
I just said you have like draw discard spells like Faithless Looting, Cathartic Reunion.
We're
You
we're
can just
in
bin
blue.
those things.
We're not playing
Look,
any other colors. We're not faithless. We're
you
not.
just said red. You just said
No, we're
Look,
we're not playing blue
if
in this.
we're
scenario.
adding
Or
in
we're
red,
just
do you
playing
want to
blue.
add in another color that you think you'd be good with? Because
No, I only added in
might
red for
benefit
more
from that
extra
as
turn
well.
stuff. So I was like, yeah, let's do more extra turn.
Magmatic, that magma, the ones that where you can pay like like a red blue. Is it? And then you
Is
get
it
a
red
treasure,
or
and you
is it
discard
blue?
it, and then you can replay it for free.
Sounds amazing.
Nope, it's good.
You're casting
It's
6
good.
to cast a instant spell that probably only cost you 3. I get to choose the sorceries an extra turn, and I can abuse the shit out of it. Let's just flicker this guy, and I keep doing it. I keep doing it, and I keep going, and I win the
You're
game.
whatting?
I'm
You're
flickering
spending
it.
mana
I'm not
to
flicking
flicker to pay more mana.
it. Yeah,
Is that all
and then
you're
I'm
doing?
attacking and killing you with all my other stuff.
With 2 1s? You're just playing.
Why
little
am I only
shits.
having this one out?
I'm going to be able to block them with Gearhulk all day.
No,
A volcanic fallout.
because I'm gonna destroy your artifact.
Over.
I'm gonna destroy all artifacts, and you're done, dude.
You don't even know it. You
just-
don't even know what an artifact is.
I
You don't know.
you don't even know.
You don't know. You don't even know. You put in more enchantment removal, you silly bean.
Oh,
That's probably a lie.
what else do I have? Most common creature removal. Yeah. Oh no, that was mine. Most common creature. Also, it's a wizard, so you can. It's a human. It's in a wizard, so you can
For
have those in-
removal, I agree that
No,
Torrential
no.
Gearhulk is more likely to be removed because it's better.
No, because it hits both.
Nobody wants to
That's
remove
the-
Snapcaster Mage because
I
it's
know.
a bad
So
creature.
exactly. So then they were just
It's a
like, oh,
bad
we don't need to
creature.
get rid of it. It already came out, and then you go flicker. All right, now I get to do it again. So you get to abuse the
How
shit
many
out of it.
flicker?
Gearhulk-
How many Snapcaster Mages are you running in your decks?
I don't play blue. I play red. I didn't get Snapcaster until freaking Ultimate Masters, so I didn't own one.
That was like 4 years ago.
I know.
now,
I haven't
man.
built a blue deck since then, besides Bruvak, but he's not a lot of. It doesn't fit in my theme.
I think Gwen had a good point. It dies to bananas.
And jackals, according to Renshai.
All right. Well, I guess that's the podcast chat right there. Jackal and banana.
Oh man.
So yeah, go out and vote for Torrential Gearhulk.
Or
whatever
Snapcaster.
one.
If you are the maniacal person that likes to play extra turns and just abuse the shit out of Snapcaster, you know where to go. If you're that guy,
You're talking about like 7-8 mana. How do you not already win? You don't need to take extra
you
turns
just
for that.
what the instant and sorcery or instant. See, and I get options here. You're playing blue. You're playing instants and sorceries.
Look.
Come on.
So I'll give the point. You're doing like high
And
mana
according
cost
to me,
things.
you are playing sorcery spells at instant speed because that's how I'm going to play this card.
I would look. So like if you're
Like, I'm
playing
just
a
saying.
low CMC deal, I would say like if you're doing low power, low CMC, Snapcaster Mage is probably the thing for you. But if you want to go like high power, tons of fun,
Lots of
you
mana.
definitely want to be playing more Torrential Gearhulk
Right.
because I understand that more.
And if
people
you're
are playing
only
more
playing
Snapcaster
instants and
Mages.
you don't play
I understand
good sorcery spells, which they're
What?
Are a lot of them out there.
I'm going to cast a creature to cast a ramp spell. That's basically what you're doing. Or
What? We're in blue.
You're in
There's
blue,
so many
and you
extra
can be
turns.
whatever other color.
Extra
so you're
turns.
either going to be casting
Extra
your sorceries are going to be ramp and or like mass removal.
Extra
Those are the major things.
Extra
so you're
turns.
going to cast a spell to kill your own creature. That sounds productive.
Extra turns.
Yeah. What?
Extra turns.
What about it?
We're trashing all the
Are
sorceries.
you trying to like talk about like some type of 80s boy band or something?
That doesn't even make any sense. Where are you going with that?
You're extra turn.
Extra turns.
Extra turn. That sounds all right. All right.
Are you thinking like Next? I think that was that. Remember that MTV? I think it was Next. I don't know.
I don't know. Is that you plus me equals?
Yeah. Oh,
ecstasy
yes,
or
it is.
something?
I think isn't it you plus me equals us or something? I think that's you're on the right track.
I remember that.
It was like a spin-off, but then actually like they played some of the songs on the radio, which was really stupid.
It wasn't bad.
It was. I have the CD autographed. All right, back to it. Yeah, you guys can vote. Vote on Twitter. You can vote on the Discord if you're part of the Discord.
Yep.
And you can vote on the community tab on YouTube. I think that'll do it for this second live podcast. Thank you guys for all you guys that joined in on the chat. Way to get the card before Lowery did, because on Stump the Smith he didn't get it at all. So we know what next week's button is going to be.
Look, you don't gotta be mean now.
Is,
I thought it was a
I know
bit.
what the card is, but I don't know the name.
Turn life.
It actually probably worked out good because I kind of gave it away by giving you a hint, and then I was like, "Oh, I feel really bad right now." And then you.
But that's why the hints don't matter. Like, they might be super easy, and I might not get them, and they might be really hard, and I might just get them. It's fucking all on reference. It's power level conversation over again. All right.
All right. That should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week right before we do SmithCon. So we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas.
I gotta get the potato beer out.
Boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers.
Did you even drink that?
Boobs.
Yeah, I drank
Thanks
that whole
for the
thing.
memories. I love boobs.
Pow. Thanks for joining, guys.